Pub Sports Radio, MLB Closing Time Show, Sunday, August 1st. We're back. Ian Cameron, Conor Mac, and Sharpe back with us as always, Saturdays and Sundays on this very show. We've got a Sunday card to get to, so let's get to it. We've got the Philadelphia Phillies and the Pittsburgh Pirates getting us going here today. Kyle Gibson making his Phillies debut on the mound after the trade from Texas. Mitch Keller on the mound here for the Pirates. We've got Philadelphia here, minus 150. Road favorites, 8.5 the total in this game. Kyle Gibson on the mound for the Phillies, who overall this season, the numbers are very good. The last 3 starts, the numbers aren't so good for Kyle Gibson. And now, of course, making his first start for his new ball club. We'll see if he can turn things around and get back on track. The Phillies need to get back on track. They need to get their offense back on track. Well, what's happened to them in the first 2 games of this series is pretty stunning, if you ask me, in terms of not able to hit the likes of Will Crowe and JT Brubaker in the first 2 games of this series. Very, very head-scratching. But actually, I shouldn't say it's that head-scratching. This is what the Phillies do sometimes. They have games where they just, have 8 or 10 runs and they just put a big number on the board. And then they have these games where it's mediocre pitching on the mound and they can't hit a lick against it. So that's sometimes what you get with the Phillies here. I'm very tempted by a first 5 minus a half a run on the Phillies. I don't know if I'm going to pull because I just am I've got the heebie-jeebies thinking about betting this team on the road right now, especially when they've lost the first 2 of this series. But they're trying to avoid a sweep. Gibson will be fired up for this first start. I think he can pitch better. And Mitch Keller's numbers are brutal, for the Pirates. 7.04 ERA. How about at home? He has an 8.4 ERA at home this season at PNC Park. That is pretty dreadful. So, look, I mean, we could have said the Phillies had the edge on Friday. They lost. We could have said the Phillies had the edge yesterday with Nola. They lost. So it's not a sure thing by any stretch of the imagination, but they're trying to avoid a sweep. They desperately need this win. They got Gibson, who'll be amped up to make his Phillies debut. Keller's been awful. I might take a stab here. First 5 innings around even money, minus a half a run. Don't love it, but I just think from a spot perspective, it makes sense. And given the pitching matchup, I think it does as well. You just got to hope the Phillies bats come to life a little bit. Conor Mac, what do you think here? Phillies Pirates.
Yeah, you got to think Gibson, his first start, hopefully pitches well here. The first 2 games, especially, I thought under right away in this one. But I think the Phillies should hit Mitch Keller. This guy who just got brought up from AAA, backup, I should say. And he even gave up 5 in his last start in Toledo, gave up 4 earned runs in 5 innings. So the Phillies need to get right. I think it's here. So I lean the under a little bit with Gibson. They haven't seen each other, face each other. He's been on the Rangers. But I lean the Phillies. Yeah, first 5, maybe it's a half 2. As much as the Pirates, I know they won the first 2. They got to win this game. If they get swept here, go back to Philly and cry because it might be over for them. So I think this is a big game for them here.
Yeah, this is a huge game.
Oh, yeah.
You can't get swept by the Pirates. You're in a big hole as it is. The Mets just came back to beat the Reds last night, walked it off thanks to a Brandon Drury hit in extra innings. And they just gain ground on you, and you're losing to teams you should beat. I mean, they got to get this one if you're the Phillies. But again, it's easier said than done with the way the Phillies have not been hitting as a collective group here in this series so far against some rather mediocre pitching. And Keller's mediocre pitching too. Keller's bad pitching. We'll see if they can hit him today. What do you think here, Sharpie?
We got Gibson. I think Gibson's going to give this team a shot in their arm. I mean, they didn't do no big trades, but Gibson's a solid piece, especially on this team, guys. They only have Nola, and after that, it's Eflin, Wheeler. It's just like guys that are been getting in trouble, guys. I just can't bet it at minus 150. It's just the same problem as yesterday. All Philly has is the better pitcher in this matchup. They don't have the better bullpen. They don't have the better bats right now, guys. And at minus 150, I can't bet it. Like, it's a stay off for me. It should be a get right spot for Philly, maybe a Phillies team total and just take out them winning. But yeah. I got to stay off these Phillies for right now.
All right, we have the Cubs and the Nationals. And for the first time in this series, I am involved from a betting standpoint in it. We've got Adbert Alzolay for the Cubs, Eric Fetty for the Nationals. Nationals minus 115, slight home favorites here. The total in this one currently 8.5, depending on where you look. Look, I know the Cubs lineup has been completely decimated by the recent trades. Baez gone, Bryant gone, Rizzo gone. I understand all that. But Eric Fetty's a hittable pitcher. Hasn't exactly been in good form the last few. 5 ERA overall this season. I think they can do some damage. Looks like Ortega at the leadoff spot's at least giving you some pop for the Cubs of late. David Bodie, Ian Happ. Patrick Wisdom has actually hit a home run or two, which is good to see. So I know it's a patchwork lineup, but there's a couple guys in there that have done a decent job here for the Cubs lately. I think they can hit Fetty in this start today. But on the flip side, Alzolay has not exactly been shut down either. 4.72 ERA. The Nationals are still hitting a decent clip. So all things considered, you see this total of 8 here. It seems a little low to me with 2 suspect arms on the mound. I'm going over this total here, over 8 here, Cubs and Nationals. It's also worth noting wind is blowing out a little bit this afternoon at Nationals Park. There is a chance of rain, but it's not a big chance. It's very muggy, by the way. We're looking at with the humidity factor 100%, and a little bit of a very, very sticky day. South winds blowing out. So put it all together, I'm going to go over the total here. Cubs Nats over 8. Conor Mac, what do you think?
That's what I saw last night when I looked at this game. I thought 8 was light here, even with these patchwork lineups. I mean, can they get here to 8? That's the problem that I have with the total. Sunday, but that would be my lean here. Alzolay, this guy hasn't been good on the road, and every time he goes out, it seems like he gives up 3 or 4 runs. If you just look up going back to April, his starts. So, and Fetty, he's one of my favorite fades, and he's a -115, -120. Yeah, I'd look towards it's crazy the Cubs, and I'd look over here. I just think the total's too light. And with these 2 pitchers on the mound who give up runs, it's just can these lineups, hit here? I mean, that's so Soto and Bell, I guess. They have a couple, big bats there, but yeah, I lean over with you here.
Yeah, I mean, 2 of the last 3 starts for Fetty, pretty ugly. 4 runs to the Phillies in 4.2 innings, then 6 runs when he got bombed by the Padres in that 24-8 loss. And like we said for Alzolay, on the road, he has a 4.84 ERA, over 5 ERA in his last 3 starts. So both pitchers trending in the wrong direction right now. So, yeah, you're right. Line, especially on the Cubs side of things, lineup definitely not what it once was, but I think there's still enough. And you've seen a deflation in the total too. I think odds makers have caught on to what the Cubs lineup is right now. This total probably should be 9 or could be 9 if the Cubs pre-trade deadline and Cubs had all their big bats. So I think you're actually getting a discount in the total. Odds makers have adjusted to the Cubs situation, in my opinion, which is why I think there's value to the over here. Sharpie, what do you think here, Cubs Nats?
I mean, you guys are all over it. They're an 8 at Cubs Field with the wind blowing out. Like, you don't ever see an 8 with the wind blowing out. Even with aces, it's not an 8. So it's like they've got 2 bums that are not pitching well at all. Granted, you can't take in the Washington numbers. I saw that in the chat yesterday, and I was like, you're right. I can't be writing down the last 15 days of Washington when half their team ain't there. Same with the Cubs. So it's like I can't take their last 15-day stats for their bats. But their bullpens are garbage, guys. They're both bottom 5 bullpens with an ERA of 5.2 or 6, depending on which team you're at. So I like that full game over. I'm with you.
There could be a chance of rain here.
Yeah.
Maybe it's spotty in DC.
Yeah, small chance. It looks like 30 to 40%. So it might be a small delay, brief delay. I don't think it's going to be anything significant, but you never know. These weather patterns and these low pressure system paths can change very quickly. So we'll see if that happens. But I don't think this game will be affected too much by weather and rain. Kansas City and Toronto, Brad Keller and the debuting Jose Barrios on the mound here for the Blue Jays today. And the Blue Jays -280. How about the price? Massive chalk here at home, 9 the total in this game. And obviously we've talked about it with the Jays. They are playing with some kind of fire, passion, energy, adrenaline right now in these first 2 games back in Canada, back in Toronto at the Rogers Center. They've smoked I don't want to say smoked them, but 6-3, 4-0 back-to-back wins against them. They've outscored them by a score of 10-3 in these first 2 games. So to me, this is a situation for me where Blue Jays are just got that momentum I don't want to go against. I also like the idea, usually, we mentioned this with Gibson for the Phillies. I like the idea of not wanting to bet against the pitcher making his debut for his new team. He's usually fired up. He usually wants to pitch well. He usually does pitch well. So it wouldn't surprise me to see that here for Barrios today against this Royals lineup that hasn't really hit much in this series. Keller's been good. I will give Brad Keller a little bit of credit. He has pitched better in his recent starts, and I've always talked about it. He's been worse at home than he's been on the road. On the road, he's been serviceable. The question is he going to be serviceable today against a very, very dangerous, potent Blue Jays lineup? That is the question. I'm off this game again. I didn't bet the first two. I'm kind of mad because I was saying maybe I should bet the Jays, and I didn't, but I just – sometimes you got to be willing to accept, hey, I passed on a winning bet because I didn't think the value was there. You got to be able to live with yourself, and I do. I'm at peace with that I didn't bet the Jays the first two games, even though they won, just because the value wasn't there. And I'm kind of in the same boat. I think the Jays win. I think they got a chance to sweep it. I think Barrios will pitch well, but not going to see me laying minus 280. Just don't love the value by any stretch. So it's a pass for me. Conor Mac, how about you here? KC Toronto.
Man, this line is huge. I'm tempted by the Royals here, even more than yesterday. This line should not be minus 280. Barrios, he's gotten hit by these Royals. His last start, June 5th in Kansas City, went 6 innings, gave up 6 hits, 4 earned runs. And there's some good numbers too. Benintendi, I want to look that up real quick. But Keller, his last 4 starts, he's gone 6 innings, all those starts. He's been phenomenal. So I think there's value here with the Royals. I looked at this. I looked at the Royals at this big price. I think the Royals team total at 3.5 is plus 105. They had nothing yesterday. I think they score some runs today. And I think seeing a 9, the Blue Jays, I think, can hit Keller, even though he's pitched well lately. I lean the full game over 9 here. Ryan O'Hearn, 6 for 14. Nicky Lopez, 6 for 11. Whit Merrifield, 16 for 45. So there's some good numbers. Benintendi, 8 for 18. So good numbers off Barrios. So some way I'm going to bet the Royals here. I think it's huge price as a dog, and maybe their team total over 3.5.
Well, to back it up, he's got a 4.82 ERA lifetime against the Royals, Jose Barrios. So that's not great by any stretch of the imagination. It's just shy of 5, his career ERA against the Royals. So that is not great by any stretch. We'll see if he can. You're right. I'm seeing these numbers. Nicky Lopez, who's been maybe the hottest hitter on the Royals lately, and he's been down like in the number 9 spot. Benintendi, Santana's hit well. Merrifield's hit him well. So a lot of guys have. How about for the Blue Jays against Keller? There's a few that have hit him. Simeon, Grichuk, Teoscar. You might be onto something with the over. Sneaky over. The first 2 games stayed under, but the totals were 10.5, 10, 9.5.
Yeah.
Is the lowest total of the series now. Maybe you're onto something there. Sharpe, anything for you here? Royals and Jays.
I think what Connor, I bet this game last night, but I think what Connor's getting to I think the over might be the actual play of this game. I took Royals first 5 plus a half at plus 140. This line is not right, guys. Straight up. It's a play on the line. Keller has been good. It's not that I don't play on a guy because he's made me money before. I don't ride him into a wall. I try to pick my spots. And I think this is still a good spot to keep following Keller, guys. I mean, pressure on Barrios for him to do good. This kid's never lived up to his name in the first place. Like, Barrios was a top draft pick who's just never been that guy, at least to me. I've never been a big Barrios guy myself. Like Ian said, they're batting 400 off the guy, I believe he said. Like, that's nuts, guys. I went through all their batting stats and was like, this should not be minus 280. Should not. So, shout out to the chat, guys. We got 160 in here. Smash that like I smashed BBWs. Shout out to Tone. He just had his baby girl last night. Mad props, big guy. But yeah, I'm on the Royals first 5 plus a half run, but I'm looking at that over more and more now that I heard Connor talking.
Yeah, by the way, I'm just seeing it. The lineups get announced for the Blue Jays. There's a pretty massive absence in that lineup. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., not in the Blue Jays lineup today. So there you go. Maybe a rest day. He hasn't had many days off at all this year. So I guess Charlie Montoya's saying, let's give him a day off, or maybe he's battling a little bump or bruise somewhere. I don't know. But it's Springer. Everybody else is in. Springer, Teoscar. Springer better be in there. I mean, he's been incredible in this series. Can't take him out right now. By the way, that's a Jack of the Day candidate for me right now, George Springer for the Blue Jays. I mean, this guy is, what did he have, 2 yesterday? He's had, I think, 4 or 5 home runs the last 10 games or so. So he's heating up. He's healthy now.
He's
He's had a bunch of
pulling
games. So
and went oppo. He went both. He like off the same pitcher. You tried to pitch him one way. Like he is hot right now.
yeah, definitely. There's no question. I don't mind Nicky Lopez either. Maxwell Smart like a Nicky Lopez props. Yeah, he's been one of their best hitters lately. No question there. So Springer, Teoscar Hernandez, Simeon, Bichette, Gurriel, Biggio, Grichuk, Espinal, and McGuire. There's your Blue Jays lineup today. So just Vladdy, the main absence for them today, but obviously a significant one. All right, next up, Baltimore, Detroit. Spencer Watkins, Tyler Alexander, the pitching matchup here. Tigers minus 135. Home favorites, 10 the total in this game. I'm tempted by Baltimore and Watkins. I don't know, but Watkins has been someone I've been gravitating to backing multiple times. Did get hit a little bit last start, so maybe it's just a sign that maybe he's going to come back down to earth. I don't think he's obviously as good as what his ERA was, which was around 2. You know, there's going to be probably a little bit of regression, and maybe we saw that from Watkins' this last start against Miami, which isn't a hard-hitting team. 4 runs, 9 hits, 4 innings, so it was a rougher start for him against the Marlins. Tyler Alexander, he got bashed around by the Minnesota Twins in his last start. 5 runs, 6 hits, 4 innings of work in that one. That could be trouble. The Orioles against left runs per game, 243 average against lefties. They've consistently been better against lefty pitching all season long. Tigers, on the other hand, could they hit Watkins? We'll see. 2 suspect bullpens. By the way, very, very hard wind blowing out this afternoon at Comerica Park, straight out to center field. Temperature is going to be in the high 70s. So it's not going to be humid there. Temperatures in the high 70s, but that wind is blowing straight out. And I think that's a big reason why we've seen the total jump the way it did. It opened 9.5. It's now 10 across the board. So I would probably lean in that direction with the over, and might be a little bit of a sketchy offense at times. Conor Mac, what do you think here? Orioles, Tigers.
Yeah, both these pitchers struggled last time out. Alexander, like you mentioned, 5 runs, and Watkins giving up 4. I think both are about to go 4 innings here. So we see more of these bullpens, which I don't like. The wind's blowing out. I had the over. I got burned yesterday on it. It could get there today. It's at 10. And I'd be on the Orioles. I just, at this point, I know the Tigers are trying to get a W here, but I can't take them at this price. I just don't love it. I'd be on the Orioles here, and I'd be on the over, but I'm going to pass.
Good point about the lack of length from these two guys, Connor, because you look at Watkins, 4.1, 5, and 6 innings in his 4 starts. And you look at Tyler Alexander, I mean, 3.2, 4, 1, 2.2, 3.1, 3.2, 4. That's what he's given you in terms of innings pitched. And these two bullpens have a 4.5 ERA in their last 10 games. So, yeah, you're going to see a lot of mediocre to bad bullpen work probably from both of these teams today. So that's probably giving you a shot in the arm if you like the over. Sharpie, what do you think? Baltimore, Detroit.
You guys talking about these 2 great bullpens again. Top 10 bullpen since the All-Star break.
They're doing it against each other.
Hey, they burned me, bro. Like, I took them live with I knew Connor was on the over already, and yesterday I was sitting back there. I thought I was being sneaky and got a 7.5. They still didn't get there, man.
They couldn't get timely hits. It was bad.
Man, John Means looked decent yesterday.
I got to say something. How bad are the other bullpens then in Major League Baseball right now? If these two teams since the All-Star break have a top 10 bullpen and it's still a 4.5 ERA bullpen in the last 10 games, that's what's that say about the other teams right now?
Yeah, it says that sticky spider tack has came into existence, guys. And where do you think most of those cheaters were at, guys? They were in the bullpens. Okay, those guys are failed starters. Okay, no one gets drafted to be in the bullpen. You get drafted to be a starter, and you suck ass, and you get put to the bullpen. Okay, those guys were cheating. Trust me. The guys in the bullpens were the ones you need to watch out for. But this game right here, I'm straight off. I was on Detroit yesterday on their team total, thinking they can get there, and that would be a spot I'd look at again. But they have the better bats by far. They 2 crappy pitchers. Like you guys said, it's 2 bullpens that have just been feasting off crappy teams. I stay off right here. This is a bum fight. Best of luck to Big Show. I'm sure he'll have some action on his Tigers, but not me today, my man.
No, not at that price either, and not with Alexander, pitcher, and again against a team that does rake lefties very well. That being Baltimore. So definitely, I wouldn't want Detroit at this price today. Next up, we've got Cincinnati, the Reds taking on the New York Mets. Vladimir Gutierrez and Marcus Stroman, the pitching matchup here in this one. Mets currently minus 190, 8.5, 9 the total in this game. Looks like the nines might be starting to get wiped out. So if you like the under, hop on that, because it looks like the under money is coming in right now in this game. Marcus Stroman on the mound here for the New York Mets. We know he sometimes can rattle some feathers of the opposing team. He's got that kind of character. But 2.7 ERA at home this year, 2 ERA in his last 3 starts, 2.62 ERA overall this season. He's just been really remarkably consistent. Outside, there's one start where he gave up 5 runs to the Yankees, and 4 runs to the Phillies back to back, early June, late July. Other than that, 8 of his last 10 starts, about 3 runs or less in 8 of his last 10 starts allowed. So he's been very good for the Mets for the most part. He faced the Reds not too long ago, back on July 21st at Great American Ballpark, and it was a gem. 1 hit shutout ball, nearly a no-hitter in 8 innings against this Reds team. So he completely dominated them. And he actually pitched well against them a few years ago as well. So he's got good numbers against the Reds. Vlad Gutierrez on the other side for the Reds. He's been better lately. Remember, he had that little rough patch, but 3 of his last 4 starts, he's allowed 2 runs or less to the Royals, to the Brewers, and to the Cubs. He had 1 really rough start. It was against these Mets. Keep that in mind. 6 runs, 9 hits, 4 innings. Got roughed up by the New York Mets in Cincinnati last month, Vlad Gutierrez. So it's a game I'm probably going to stay off. The under kind of does make sense given the form of these 2 pitchers right now. I could see that be, especially a first 5 under. I don't argue with that at all. I could see that. By the way, Joey Votto, who had his home run streak snapped yesterday, 7 straight games. It ended yesterday. Very good potential that he is not in the line. Actually, he isn't in the lineup. It has been confirmed now. No Joey Votto in the lineup today. So giving him a rest, obviously, the hottest hitter on the team, one of the hottest hitters in baseball right now. So that's a significant absence to fill for the Reds in that lineup today. So Mets probably have the edge, but again, you're talking about minus 190, pretty well priced. Pass for me, though, on this game. Conor Mac, what about you? Anything for you, Cincinnati, New York Mets?
Yeah, that last start in Cincinnati, I saw it. Stroman just cruised through that 8 innings. And Gutierrez a couple days before, got rocked on July 19th, giving up those 6 runs. I'd be on the under here, like you talked about. I just don't know. I think I might go full game. I don't trust the Reds pen. I think the Mets, this is their game, but they're minus 190. I can't take that. I like the Reds all series. I liked them the last week against the Cubs. And I wouldn't, anyone that wanted the Reds here at this price, but the lineup isn't there today. This is a get right spot, I think, for the Mets a little bit. So I like the under, and for the game, I take the Mets. Anyway, you can take it, run line, first 5 half a run, bring down some of this juice.
All right, so liking maybe more of a first 5 under, if anything, here for Conor Mac. By the way, over 200 live viewers already. Incredible, guys. Hit the like button. Do it. It makes us happy. It's good for the channel. It's good for us. It's good for you guys because it means you're going to keep getting more great shows and great content when you hit that like button and you support. That's what it means. Sharpie, what do you think here? Reds and Mets.
I think we need to get to 100 likes so I can melt my face off like Michael Jackson's second nose surgery. But back to baseball. On to Cincinnati.
Line never gets old.
Hey, I got a couple lines, one-liners, bro. It's like Little Wayne Jr.
Rodney Dangerfield of Pub Sports Radio.
But shout out to the chat. I seen a Maxwell Smart post. It's Sunday, guys. It's moving day. Moving day. That means there's a bunch of people not in the lineups. He said Altuve was his only hitter that he backs. And then he just threw out that Votto wasn't in lineup. Vladdy's not in the lineup. There's a bunch of guys that won't be in the lineups. Careful, check lineups before you make your bets today. I don't think Stroman should be a minus 190, but I'm not going to bet against him myself. I could see cases for the under over. I'm off it. I don't think Stroman can go 8 innings again and be that good. I just don't. And I see Gutierrez getting hit again. The that Mets lineup is nasty, guys. Even with McCann out today, they've got Baez hitting 4, Dom Smith. They're legit 1 through 6 right now, and I'll take that lineup over Cincinnati's lineup without Votto in it.
All right, good. Yeah, I agree with that. It seems like the Mets have the pretty solid edge here in this game. Pitching probably lineup as well. And by the way, great momentum. You know, they came back. Baez had a home run in his Mets debut last night. They came Brandon Drury with the walk-off hit in the extra innings to come back and win. Little momentum. Now it's the rubber match tonight. So it probably adds up nicely here for the Mets here today. And again, if you're the Braves and the Phillies, you better get your asses in gear because, this Mets team now on paper, wait till they get Lindor back. And they're going to be something that wait till they get, hopefully, we don't know because he just suffered a setback. It's so brutal to see it with Jake DeGrom with the season he had before he got injured. But he had a setback the other day. And now all of a sudden they're saying, may not be back in regular season. Syndergaard, of course. Think about all the guys that are out.
Syndergaard's coming back in August. He's already in the minors right now. Like their team is going to get nasty. Carrasco just came back. If they get Carrasco, DeGrom, Syndergaard at the playoffs, holy crap.
Holy crap indeed. Because it bumps Stroman, who's been excellent all season, like the 4th starter in the rotation. Yeah, that's a stick rotation if we get to that. If DeGrom could somehow get his way back onto the field by October with Syndergaard back, and now you've got Carrasco back, and Stroman's pitching well, that's tough. I would say maybe if you like the Mets and you believe in them, bet them now because your price is only going to get worse from here. If you like them to win the pennant, the NL, or the World Series, there's no question. Now's the time to get on that if you indeed like the Mets. Because it's going to get worse from here. Yankees and Marlins. Next up here, we've got Jordan Montgomery for the Yankees. No starting pitcher confirmed for Miami. There's whispers it could be Sandy Alcantara on short rest, pitching on 4 days. So we'll have to wait and see. The Yankees minus 170, road favorites, 7 the total with where this was. I don't know if I agree with this, but the Marlins are one of those teams now where they just don't know one day to the next who's going to start for them. They've had pitching injuries. They've had all kinds of issues with their the depth of their pitching. And so that's why they're thinking of Alcantara on 4 days rest, which is what he would be pitching on here. And by the way, his ERA is like 2 runs higher on 4 days rest compared to normal 5 days rest. So that's why I'm puzzled. I'm head scratching that Mattingly would make this move, but maybe, he did test positive for COVID. He's probably saying, oh, fuck it. I've got greater concerns on my mind than who's pitching for me on Sunday against a team that's kicked my ass now in back-to-back games. So maybe that's it. Maybe he's just saying, oh, fuck it. We'll just throw Alcantara out there on 4 days rest. But he's got noticeably worse numbers on 4 days rest than normal rest. And not to mention, he hasn't been great since the All-Star break, Sandy. Either for the Marlins. He's kind of went backward a little bit. So I like the kid. He's a good pitcher, but hasn't been in good form lately either. So, and like I said yesterday, guys, Yankees seem to have some momentum going. Rizzo's been just everything they could have wanted from him in the first couple of games since they got him from the Cubs. Home run in each game. What an outstanding start to his Yankee career. I'm not going against the Yankees, the bottom line. Here in this game. So it would be Yankees or nothing. It's probably going to be nothing for me, though, when it's all said and done. Conor Mac, Yankees, Marlins.
Yeah, it's probably going to be nothing for me, too. We don't know the line. Like you said, it'll probably be 7. I still see a lower scoring game. Marlins just can't score runs. So it'd be the Yankees. I think they would win again. I'd take probably a half run, bring down some of this juice if it's going to be around 170 or 180 today with Montgomery. But I don't have a line, so just off thing, I'd go Yankees. But I'm probably not going to bet it.
Yeah, I was going to say I was really when I saw that Alcantara could pitch on 4 days rest, and I saw the numbers that it's way worse for him pitching on short rest than normal rest. I'm like, what the fuck, Mattingly? What are you doing? But then I realized, hey, he's got COVID. He's got other issues on his mind. I'm sure what's more important now. I just tested positive for the coronavirus, and I'm probably going to be isolated now or making a pitching decision for a losing team that's going nowhere. Priorities, right? Sharpie, what do you think here? Yankees, Marlins.
You hit the nail on the head with the COVID right there, man. Why the hell would you send your star prospect up against Murderer's Row right now? Like on short days rest for what? You're not making the playoffs. Why? So you could go make this kid feel bad that he couldn't pitch versus the Yankees? Like Anthony Rizzo's leading off today, guys. Like Oh my goodness. Like, it's Yankees or pass. My best bet's going to be on this game later on. So we'll get to that when we get to there. We going to get to that 100 likes, fellas. So smash it, grab it, and we going to keep printing out them winners.
Yeah, absolutely. Brett Anderson, Charlie Oldman Morton, next game here, Brewers and Braves. We've got Atlanta now, minus 160. Home favorites, 9 the total in this one. Milwaukee disappointing all of us yesterday, losing to the Atlanta Braves. But give Atlanta credit. Nice win for them. And now they got Morton on the mound, who is, I call him Old Man Morton, but he's fire right now for the Atlanta Braves. He's pitched quite well in recent starts. That's an understatement. We'll see if he can keep it rolling for the Braves here today. Morton 5-1, by the way, in his home starts this season. So he's pitched really well in this ballpark. Anderson, though, for the Brewers, 1.2 ERA in his last 3 starts. Yes, that's Brett Anderson, folks, with those numbers for the Milwaukee Brewers. So, usually when I think just on if someone were to say to me, especially earlier this season, Brett Anderson, Charlie Morton, what's the first thing that comes to mind in a matchup like that? I say the teams are going to score some runs. Now today, I'm not so sure, because Anderson's pitched a little bit better. Morton's pitched really well of late as well, especially at home. He's pitched really well. So this game I'm not involved in, side or total. I can't lay mine. I know Morton has been really good at home, and he's probably a little bit more trustworthy than Anderson, but Anderson's in good form. And if anything, I'd take a stab with Milwaukee here at this price because I get it. Morton's been good. Atlanta at home, but Atlanta minus 160, below 500 team, and the Brewers 20 above 500. And you can get with the 20 above 500 team a price in the range of, what is it right now? Plus 140 on the Brewers right now, plus 150 with the Brewers in a lot of spots right now. That's hard to pass that up, that kind of value on a team with the record Milwaukee has. So I would only look at possibly the Brewers from a value standpoint as a small bet. Small, because again, we're talking about Brett Anderson here, but I think the price warrants something maybe toward Milwaukee here. Conor Mac, what do you think? Brewers, Braves?
Yeah, Brett Anderson's last 3 starts have been pretty good. The more I dig into this, I think there's a little value on the Brewers. I know the Braves have been hot here, but you got to pay the price now if you want them. You got a run line is just plus 120. So if you want to jump on the Braves, one thing, they've stacked those right-handed bats, their lineup. The Braves, they got Duvall and a few other guys. So, yeah, this is a difficult one for me. Initially, you'd think, over with these guys. They pitched well, so I thought under. It's Braves. It's wind blowing out to left. I'm just off this one. I'm talking in circles, so I'm out.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I have many games in many sports that feel the same way, around and around, and I make a case for this, case for that, case for the this, that, and the other, and I say, no, let's leave it alone. Sharpie, what do you think here? Brewers and Braves?
Man, I know Slaughter hit me up this morning. He was looking at the K prop for Morton. He was trying to go under. Right now it's at 6.5 minus 155. And I got them calculated at 7, guys. And I don't really like playing a K prop where I only think they're going to hit it by a half, and especially at that juice. So to each your own, there's a little info on Morton's K prop for me. I can see this going over first 5 under full game, kind of like how it's gone every part, like since this has happened. The guys, like the 2 pitchers that are supposed to do good get lit. And then they go into these 2 bullpens that are legit, guys. These are 2 top 5 bullpens since the All-Star break with a 2 ERA and a 2.9. Like, I favor Morton here, guys, but the bats are the same, bullpens are the same. So you got to go with the plus money when it's saying that everything's are the same, guys. It's a coin flip on the stats. So what side are you going to take the coin flip, plus money or not?
Yeah, that ends up being the question. We got some uncertainty with this next game here. Cleveland and Chicago White Sox. We know it's going to be Cal Quantrill for Cleveland. We heard initially Ronaldo Lopez on the mound for the White Sox, and now they're stepping back, and now I'm hearing it could be this kid Lambert for the White Sox instead. Basically, it hasn't been confirmed. It's going to be probably one of those 2 guys. It's just going to be a question of which one. We've got right now, it looks like in terms of a number on this game, White Sox minus 160. Home favorites, 9.5 the total here in this game. Let's give Cleveland credit. What a wild one last night at in the Windy City, 12-11 in favor of the Cleveland Indians. And last night's a perfect example, guys, why I endorse team totals. I said I like the White Sox to go over 4.5, but I don't know about their side of it from a pitching standpoint with Keuchel last night. And sure enough, Keuchel kind of struggled. The bullpen was a little bit leaky for the White Sox as well. And you cash your team total even though they lose the game. That's why don't be scared to go to that route. If you don't trust the team, if you're betting them over their team total, you don't trust their pitching. That's the ultimate time to be betting their team total. So that's definitely something you want to keep in mind for the future. I don't expect to be involved in this game here as far as I'm concerned. It feels like it should go over tonight with these two, just like the first two games of this series have. Quantrill's been a little bit better in his last few starts. 1 run in each of his last 3 starts allowed by Quantrill. 1 run, 5 innings against Oakland. 1 run, 4 innings against Tampa Bay. Think about Tampa Bay and the way they're mashing righties right now. And think about the fact that Quantrill gave up just 1 run in 6 innings to that Rays team. So that's pretty impressive. 1 run allowed to St. Louis as well for Cleveland. So, when I look at this game, I'm saying Quantrill's been good. I'm almost tempted by Cleveland here a little bit, at least in the first 5. He's been better lately. So keep that in mind. I don't know who's going to be on the mound for the White Sox. And I can tell you right now, whether it's Lopez, whether it's Lambert, whether it's the guy down the street from me, whoever the fuck it is, I'm not laying minus 160 with them because I don't think I'm going to trust them when it's just a spot starter. Probably a game I'll pass, but the prospect of at least leaning toward Cleveland first 5 with Quantrill allowing just a single run in each of his last 3 starts is something that definitely piques my interest at least. Conor Mac, how about you here? Cleveland, Chicago.
Yeah, I'm not going to lay minus 160 with the White Sox here. I'd be on the dog. Quantrill's been good. His last 3 starts, you talked about it, 1 earned in those 3. He had a start, I think, May 31st against the White Sox. He went 3 2/3, gave up 1 run, 5 Ks. Initially, yeah, the wind's blowing out to right center, 14 miles an hour, I think, over. But I don't know. Sunday, it just freaks me out a little bit. But, yeah, that's what I was going to. But they scored a ton of runs yesterday, obviously. So my initial look was the over 9.5, but I'm just leaning that way.
All right, just to lean there as
well. The team total
Sharpie
for the Sox is good, real quick. It's just, 4.5 again. It's minus 145. I don't want it.
Yeah, I'm off the team total for the White Sox today. I'm not on that, especially with Quantrill giving up just 3 runs in his last. Like, we do have to give him his due. 17 innings over his last 3 starts. He's given up 3 runs. That's pretty good. So Cal Quantrill has turned it around a little bit. And, yeah, I hear you. There's someone in the chat there, Mr. Nimbus, saying Quantrill stinks. Yeah, he did early. Lately, he's been better, though, so we do have to give him a little credit. Sharpie, what do you think here, Cleveland White Sox?
I think these guys need to go hit the share, hit the like, hit the smash, all that good shit. We're at 87 likes, almost 300 live viewers, guys. Let's hit that live mark today. Let's get over 300. Let's fucking go.
Yep.
300. Okay, that was just a cool little rap song that I listen to all the time. But here we go. I lean towards the White Sox team total. It's juiced, though, to minus 130. That's why I haven't bet it myself. But it's hit the last 2 games versus this team. And I get Quantrill has been good. That's why I'm going full game. We got that Minnesota bullpen to help us out. And I expect 5 runs from them. I don't know who's pitching for the White Sox, so I can't say full game. But I lean White Sox here.
All right, lean White Sox here. Against this, Cleveland, we'll see how they go. You're right, the Cleveland bullpen is just, it's not very, even James Karinchak, their closer, who was very good early in the season. Now he's just basically your heart's, pumping a million miles a minute every time he's on the mound now. It's always a nervous 9th inning when he's on the mound. So, yeah, they got issues with that bullpen. Keep hitting that like button. We appreciate it. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. Minnesota and St. Louis. We've got Michael Pineda and Adam Wainwright on the mound here in this one. We've got St. Louis -1. Looks like minus 160 home favorites, 8.5 the total in this game. I'm going to leave it brief here. I'm not involved. I really haven't gotten involved much in this series. 2 teams going nowhere. Certainly don't want to bet against Wainwright at home. We talk about this all season. He's better at Busch Stadium. He pitches well in St. Louis. I'm not a big Pineda guy. I guess I'd lean St. Louis, but at this price, not a chance. Not a chance with St. Louis at this price, even though I like Wainwright at home. So it's an easy game to pass, in my opinion. This of all the games, this is the one I said right away. I'm not involved in this one. I have no interest in betting it either with these two teams. Flighty as it gets, both of them. Conor Mac, what do you think here? Twins, Cardinals.
Screw the Cardinals. I don't even want to talk about this freaking game.
Yesterday.
Pathetic. Real quick. Thanks, Ian, for the reminder. Yeah, that guy, he was horrible. That was pathetic. And whoever the man, whatever his dipshit name is, leaving him in, that guy should have been yanked. Woodford. This one though, I'd lean the first 5 under 4.5. Pineda looked a little bit better. I know maybe the Cards team total, but I can't get involved after yesterday. I want nothing to do with these two sorry teams. The Cardinals didn't do anything. The trade deadline, they're 52-52, and they're just blah. And the Twins suck, so I'm off.
Yeah, they brought in 2 old retread shit pitchers is what they did at the trade deadline. John Lester and
they did bring
those
guys
really
in,
put them over the top, right? I don't know what screams out more to me. We're ready to contend. We're ready to make a run than going out and getting John Lester and Jay Happ. I mean, if that doesn't tell you we're ready to contend and we're ready to make a move and make a run here, if that doesn't tell you that, I don't know what does. Of course, I'm being facetious for all you knuckleheads out there. Sharpie, what do you think here? Twins and Cardinals.
I think Pineda needs to give the money back he's stolen from my family the last few weeks because I've been fading him like normal, and he's been ripping that money from me, guys. And I'm right back to it, guys. Fuck Pineda, okay? That guy is the cheater of all cheaters. Before Spider Tack happened, this guy was slapping crap on his neck to get thrown out of games, okay? I got to keep fading him, guys. And now can I trust Wainwright at a minus 150? Not this guy. No. What I will trust is these bum-ass Cardinal bats to wake up against this bullshit-ass pitcher and this bum-ass bullpen. 4.5's at plus money. I'll take it at the plus money, guys. I think this is a get-right spot for the Cardinals bats. Do I think Wainwright? I don't know. It might be a full-blown over game, guys, because I'm not a Wainwright guy myself. I think he's a piece of crap, to be in the nicest words of them all. So Cardinals team total plus money. I like that bet a lot. If I wasn't on a K prop, I'd probably give that as my best bet.
All right, there we go. Liking the team total a little bit here for the St. Louis Cardinals. We'll see as Pineda, who's been better lately. We'll see if we can keep it going today. Next up, we've got Seattle.
Better at bats than yesterday. Real quick, those Cardinal at bats were pathetic. I watched that game. They were bad.
I got a note I had to write down that Max wanted me to read you, Connor.
Read it.
Don't bet on Jake Woodford. Drink Woodford whiskey.
Very good, Max. Thank you, my brother. That's smart. I know he mentioned.
He told me to tell you that today. I had to.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. I like
Woodford reserve.
Woodford not very good yesterday. I agree with that. Not good at all. Next up, Seattle and Texas. Marco Gonzalez, the lefty for the Mariners. Mike Fultonevich for Texas. A good old Fulty, still getting sent out there every 5 days. I don't know how, but he is. Seattle minus 140. Road favorites here. Total pretty much across the board here. We're looking at 9, I believe, with the total. Yeah, pretty much 9 is what we're looking at with the total. 8.5 in some spots. We'll see how it goes here. Boy, oh boy, let's go. Seattle, just a hideous loss for them yesterday, to be honest with you. I mean, the Rangers just can't hit a lick, and somehow, welcome to the Seattle Mariners, your new closer, Diego Castillo from the Tampa Bay Rays, gives up a 2-run shot to Jonah Heim in the 10th inning last night, and a 5-4 win for the Texas Rangers. So really tough one for the Seattle Mariners, and tough for me because I had first 5 full game split. I lose one, I push the other. So, but I'm coming back to Seattle again today. I said I was going to keep backing this team here in this series. Yeah, it's Marco Gonzalez, but he's been a little bit better last 3 starts, like Gonzalez, a little bit. 3.86 ERA his last 3 starts. He's given up 3 runs in 5.2 innings to the Angels, 2 runs, 5 innings to Colorado, 2 runs, 5.2 innings against Oakland. The Mariners are 5-1 in Gonzalez's last 6 starts, 3-0 in his last 3 starts. So I think it's a bounce back spot for Seattle, and I got no problem fading Mike Fultonevich. Fulty, I can't even believe that he's out there again for another start in this game. He's given up 16 runs in 5.2 innings over his last two starts. Think about that. 16 runs, 5.2 innings, 10 runs allowed, again, 10-0 loss to the Jays, 7-5 loss to the Detroit Tigers. Terrible for Fultonevich. He faced them 3 times earlier this season already, so the Mariners know what's coming, and they've scored a total of 10 runs in 20 innings against him. So a lot of success for the Mariners against Fultonevich this season. He's 0-3 against the Mariners this season. This is a slam dunk for me. Didn't even have to think twice. Seattle, first 5 full game split, just like yesterday in this one. Just hope for better results. Fultonevich is a complete and utter shambles right now. I think the over's in play as well, 8.5, because Gonzalez has been better, but he's still going to give up a couple. He's still going to give up a few. He usually does. And I think Seattle gets the rest of it. So over for me, 8.5, 2 bullpens that, are hit or miss. And I think Seattle gets it done. First 5 full game split. Fultonevich, hey, I wasn't expecting him to get another start, not after the last couple, but they're sending him out there again. And we'll try to take advantage once again. What do you think here, Conor Mac, Mariners and Rangers?
Yeah, this is difficult. Fultonevich has gotten hit all year by the Mariners, but Gonzalez, I was looking it up. He gave up 7 earned against these Rangers at home. What was it? July 3rd. He went 3 1/3, gave up 8 hits, 7 earned. I know it's tough with these two teams, but yeah, lean the over 8.5 a little bit. Out of these two, it's tough to take either of these two pitchers. I guess I go Mariners. They have the better bats than the Rangers. Rangers can hit lefties, but you got to think they can get a few off Gonzalez. So yeah, I lean over here, and I was off yesterday's game. I'd come back with the Mariners, maybe first 5, half a run here.
Yeah, can't hit. You said Texas can't hit lefties, Connor. That's an understatement. The last 10 games, 167 average, 1.95 runs per game. That's less than 2 runs per game against lefty pitching in the last 10 games for the Texas Rangers. So that is absolutely awful. So definitely, when I look at this here, for me, it's Seattle first 5 full game, a little bit on the over as well. Another thing to keep in mind too with this, in terms of Texas here, the line movement. We talked about this yesterday. That line was just crashing on. Texas was taking a ton of money. We could scratching our heads, and sure enough, Texas won yesterday. Today, we're not seeing that. Seattle opened -140. In fact, the line is inched up a couple of cents towards Seattle, -145 now. So, you had all that money on Texas yesterday, and it ended up being correct because they came back and won an extra. They shouldn't have won, but they did. They came back and won. Today, you're not seeing it, everybody moving the line on Texas. So that gives me a little bit even more confidence, a little bit for Seattle here today. What do you think here, Sharpie? Seattle, Texas.
Check this out. Shout out to Razor Sharp Picks. He jumped into the Discord, Pub Sports Radio Discord yesterday. 88% of the money was on Seattle, and the line dropped to Texas yesterday. That's where it was wrong. That's a false line movement. That means they were begging for Seattle money because the books knew something yesterday, guys. It is what it is. When I see money on all of it's on one side and the line drops the other way, I can't bet that game. It's just a run as fast as I can, and I'm glad I got out of it. Seattle had every chance to win it. They tied it. They went to extras. I mean, it wasn't a bad bet at all. They were in the game, but the line movement was enough for me to make me run. It was a reverse line movement. I'm not scared of line movements. It's the reverse line movement.
Yeah.
Everybody was talking about this last night too in the Discord. They want the over, the over, the over. I see this as this could be one of those games that goes straight under, guys. Like Ian said, they're batting 160 something the last 10 days. Well, let's take it back 15 days. They're batting 145. They just get worser. So it's not like these guys are getting better, guys. They're just bums showing up to show up right now. Now, do I trust Fulte is the problem? Because I think Gonzalez can do his. And at a -145, if I like Seattle, I would drop him down to half run. I just can't put my money on Marco. I'm really debating hard on the first 5 under because I see everybody's on the over. And that to me is just that's a stay off too when I see everybody looking one way. And it's an 8.5 for 2 bums. 2 bums.
Yeah, it's a very, very true.
Yeah, can they pitch well? They've gotten touch.
Yep.
Both times they've pitched against these teams, though.
It's trappy to me.
Yeah.
All right, we got Houston and San Francisco. Luis Garcia, Logan Webb pitching. Actually, you know what? No, we'll do the stretch. We'll do the stretch now, actually, before we get into it, because usually I want to start that before we get to the West Coast games, which we're now in. There's a lot of West Coast games today. So, all right, almost 300 live viewers. Incredible. Hit the like button. We appreciate it. Thanks to everyone in the chat, of course, for joining us. Melvin Betances, Mr. Nimbus, Jamel Wright, not applicable. Wyatt Chapman, Jake Kaiser, Lamont Williams, Ray Freeman, Andre. We appreciate everybody in the chat here. Kenny V, Saul, Posada, Real Deal Prime, Turnsey, Cheshire Cat, Sam Calmer, Vitalis, incredible. Dennis Trusty, Brian Watson, Johnny K, Brian Warner, Real DJX, Ian McCowan, Laura Lee Wagoner, Maxwell Smart, of course, Melvin Betances, Rodney Barton, Billy Pilgrim. We appreciate everybody. Not Flush Allen. Good to see you. We're going to talk about your Giants pretty soon, Mike. Not Flush Allen. We're going to be talking about him in just a second. Blake Atwood, Luke Murphy, Ninja 13. We appreciate everybody in the chat with us today. I believe that's pretty much everybody. Did anybody sneak in after? We'll have to see. Bama Boy, there we go. MMA Locker Room, Joe Free, Cap a lot pops. That's good. Cap a lot pops. Sports betting and poker. Everyone, thank you for joining us here on the MLB Closing Time Show. Let's get to it. West Coast games, starting with Astros Giants. Luis Garcia, Logan Webb. Giants -115, -120. Home favorites, 8.5 the total. I'm compelled to look San Francisco here at this price. What a crazy game yesterday between these two teams. Back and forth it went, and the Giants emerged with the 8-6 victory. Not a good outing for Greinke. Isn't that crazy? That's baseball, right? You go into that game yesterday, Greinke's got dominant numbers against San Francisco, dominant numbers in that ballpark in the Bay Area, and he gets absolutely ripped yesterday. And that's exactly what can happen sometimes. That's baseball. You can bet the numbers. The numbers aren't always going to be what you think is going to happen. And that's what we saw yesterday, 8-6. The Astros have gone over the total in 5 straight games. They've been in one slugfest after another on this road trip. 3 games in Seattle, 11-8, 8-6, 11-4. First 2 games of this series, 9-6, 8-6. Hard to bet an under right now with this Houston team, especially that bullpen. It's just not very good right now, the Astros bullpen. On the flip side, you got the Giants bounce back from the 9-6 loss on Friday, 1-8-6 yesterday. They send Logan Webb to the mound. He's been great. There's no other way around it. He has been great for the Giants. 1.61 ERA at home. The Giants are 10-3 when he starts this season in 13 starts, 3-0 in his last 3 starts. They have won actually 7 straight with Logan Webb starting, 7-0 in his last 7 starts, 5-0 in his 5 home starts this season. Like all the numbers say that Logan Webb and the Giants bet on Logan Webb, bet on the Giants when he's pitching for them. Luis Garcia, 3.45 ERA his last 3 starts. He was roughed up by Seattle this week, 6 runs, 4.2 innings. On the road, he has a 4.54 ERA, which is a significant jump and increase from his overall ERA. So his road numbers haven't been great. At this price, I can only look Giants first 5 full game in this one. Conor Mac, what do you think here? Houston, San Francisco.
Yeah, Garcia's been up and down in his last few starts, and that one at Seattle gave up a bunch of runs. I'd be on the Giants here too with Logan Webb. He's at home, getting -110. That was my lean here. Yeah, all these overs, it just seems so easy. Only 8.5, wind blowing out. I don't know about today. It's Sunday, moving day. I'm pumping the brakes on the over. I'm not that I'm running to the first 5 under 4.5, but I lean that way a little bit in this game. But the Astros just keep pounding it. They just keep scoring runs on this trip, so it's not easy to take. Both team totals are interesting too, 4.5. They're both +110. I lean more maybe to the Giants at home here of Garcia, who's been shaky a little bit lately.
And Chris Bryant, who did not play yesterday, hasn't played yet for the Giants, could make his Giants debut today.
He should play today.
Keep that in mind. Seeing Chris Bryant for the first time in a Giant uniform. We'll see. Sharpie, what do you think here? Astros Giants.
Just beat it. All right. Sorry. We got 300 live viewers, guys. That's a
Wow, I
freaking
just
record.
noticed that now. Incredible.
Woo!
I know I'm
Get it.
asleep here. I
Pump me
didn't
up,
realize
guys.
that
I'm
till now.
gonna take another dab in a second. Just let me get through this game. I'm on the under 4.5 first 5, guys, and I like hearing Connor leaning that way because I love when he's on those under first 5s. Those are money. I like Garcia. Yeah, he got roughed up last time, guys, but I think this is a get right spot for him. The Giants are batting 24th versus righty since the All-Star break. Garcia now gets to pitch in a National League ballpark versus a National League pitcher, guys. It's a whole different ball game now for him, guys. You get to relax for a freaking one spot. Okay, you can't do that in the American League, guys. You've got murderers row no matter where you're at. These guys can hit. So I like Garcia over 6.5 strikeouts today. I'll probably be on it. I got to break it down a little more, but just from a straight glance, I like it over 6.5. And I like the Astros first 5 at -115 and the under 4.5. I mean, I'm going to be on this game 3 ways.
All right, next up, we've got Oakland A's, LA Angels, and you might be looking at this pitching matchup and saying, who, huh, what? Who the hell is this? And you can say that about both sides here in this game here. We've got Dalton Jeffries on the mound here for the Oakland Athletics, Reed Detmers for the LA Angels. And these are 2 guys making debuts here. Next up in this one, we've got the Angels -115, home favorites, 9.5 the total. I'm looking at Dalton Jeffries, and he's made 1 major league start in his career. He got bashed in it last season. He's got a 5.1 ERA in AAA with Las Vegas this year. That's not sounding like a guy that's major league ready. You've had 1 major league start, you've been crushed, and you have a 5.1 ERA in AAA this season. That ain't any good, in my opinion. So Dalton Jeffries and the A's, and look, the A's have, inexplicably shut out yesterday by the LA Angels and Jaime Barria. I couldn't believe it. Terrible day at the plate for Oakland. Just one of those head scratchers, like the Phillies getting shut out by Will Crow on Friday night. Hard to believe it happened, but it did. I don't trust Jeffries here. Detmers, he's making his major league debut as well for the Angels. Reed Detmers in this game. He's been basically, from what I'm reading, he's been basically a AA, not a AAA, a AA pitcher most of this season. And then he made 1 start AAA, and now all of a sudden he's in the major leagues where he's had 1 AAA start to get ready, and most of his starts have been in AA. So he's basically jumping 2 levels up for this major league start here. I'm so tempted over 9.5. I get it that we saw, a very, very low scoring game yesterday, and these are Oakland's lineup. It's hard to fathom how poor they were yesterday. But these are 2 pitchers that I do not trust one bit. You're talking about a guy that's got bad numbers in AAA on the Oakland side, Dalton Jeffries. You got a guy on the Angels side, Reed Detmers, who has basically been a AA ball pitcher all season. And now all of a sudden he's up 2 levels to the major leagues. I'm tempted, but 9.5, man, and what we saw yesterday and even the day before where we didn't get the offenses clicking. But, boy, they should click today. In theory, these offenses should hit today. So the only way I would go is over 9.5. I haven't pulled the trigger yet. I'm mulling it over. I might wait to see who's in the lineup, which is a good idea on a day like today. These Sundays are bloody Sundays when it comes to getting good, accurate lineup info. There's always guys that are rested on this kind of day. But definitely I am tempted over 9.5. We'll see if I pull the trigger, but that would be the way I would go. Conor Mac, what do you think here? A's Angels.
Yeah, this was a long look at for me and Sharpie last night between these couple pitchers, finding out Detmers that got drafted high and AA, and then shot right at 1 star in AAA against Vegas through Salt Lake. Had a good start, and now he's on the mound today. Last night it was 10.5 the total, so it's gone. Money's took into this under with 3 straight unders. Oakland can't score runs. Angels can't score runs. I don't give a shit. Jeffries is horrible. I'd be on the Angels here with Detmers. Jeffries is just a guy that I don't want. I think he only goes a few innings. And like you said, Detmers has just been rushed here to make this start in the bigs. He's a AA pitcher. I mean, he just got drafted 2019 out of Louisville. So I'm on the Angels a little bit here, first 5. I lean them. And I lean the over 9.5. I just think there's runs. Even if one guy pitches well for 3 or 4 innings, out of the two. I mean, I think one gets knocked around the other. I think we get runs in this one finally after 3 straight unders.
Yeah, I mean it's always that debate, right? The short form, the current form is these two teams aren't hitting a lick, especially the Angels. And it makes you think under. And I did initially, and then I look at these two pitchers making their debuts. I'm like, these guys should get
Both
hit.
guys. Yeah.
So which way do you go? I mean, so I'm leaning the other way because I think it's sometimes when you have all these low scoring games and then suddenly you have that breakout. If the breakout's not going to happen today, I don't know when it's going to happen. What do you think here, Sharpie? It's a fascinating game to really look at and analyze here, Angels and A's.
I capped this game with Connor for a good half hour last night, and I even capped you, Ian, and I knew you were going to be on the over with 2 young guys. Like, he's going to be like, 2 young kids coming up and burn them. Okay.
Well, now just 2 young kids. 2 young kids. One's got brutal numbers in AAA. The other guy's going right from AA. So I don't like
the
either
one
situation.
with brutal numbers. We're going to fade today, guys. That was my bet I made last night. Angels first 5. Reed Detmers, guys. First round draft pick, 10th overall out of Louisville. He was their ace on the College World Series team, guys. Okay. This guy has the juice. Okay. 60 innings, 111 strikeouts. I don't care if it's AA or not. That is nasty, guys. Nasty. And he's a lefty, and Oakland struggling versus lefties, guys. They're batting .237 since the All-Star break, and they ain't seen this kid. They ain't seen this kid, which is great news for an Angels backer. And we're going against a guy with a 22 ERA throughout his whole minor league career, guys. Not just this year. Let's just go through his whole minors. This guy is a trash can being brought up to be set on fire, okay? The Angels wouldn't throw this kid up here just to get lit up, guys. This is their number 1 draft pick. They don't want to just throw a kid out there to get thrown. They think he can handle this, guys. Trust me. So Angels at this price, I think we're getting a good steal on a kid coming up. So I'm backing the Angels first 5 today.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal in AA with all those strikeouts.
Yep.
You know,
and the AAA
under about 6 innings. And the AAA start was good against Vegas.
Yep.
I don't think they would bring him up to just fill up a spot, is what I'm saying. Like he means too much to the Angels.
I agree, but you got to think he'd be a little more time. But maybe they think he's ready. Maybe they saw that start, that one, and they were like, yeah, let's go. It's go time. I like the Angels too, first 5.
All right, Angels first 5. And yeah, when you look into it further, I worry about the sudden jump for Detmers, but it certainly seems like he is the superior arm and long-term will be. I mean, Dalton Jeffries is just a stopgap for Oakland.
I think he could handle the pressure too of a start. I mean, he started in the College World Series. Like, he's been there. He's a first-round draft pick. He's had pressure on him this whole time. I don't think he'll falter on his first start, where some people do. That pressure gets to him. I think he's had pressure on him this whole time.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes for him. No question. Interesting to see how it goes for both of these guys today. As you see, I mean, this is the one that stuck out to me. I'm like, who the hell are these guys? And then you read up a little bit more, and very, very fascinating to see how this one plays out. Colorado, San Diego, Austin Gomber, Reese Neer, the pitching matchup here. San Diego, -140, -145. Road home favorites, I should say, at Petco Park, 8.5 total. Lots of money on Colorado again. Hard to argue with that. Rockies have won 2 in a row against the Padres. Again, I didn't bet it, and I said that. I lean Colorado, but I'm not betting it, so that means you guys should bet it, and I hope you did, because the Rockies got it done yesterday, 5-3. Game goes over the total. I know Sharpie liked the over in that Rockies-Padres game yesterday. It went over the total, which was 7. We'll see how it goes here. Gomber's been pretty damn good. Let's give him credit. A 3.69 ERA overall. Last 6 starts, 0-1, 0-2, 3-2. The Rockies 5-1 in Gomber's last 6 starts. And look, this Padres team, I don't want to say they are against lefties, by the way, 181 average and 1.85 runs per game against lefties the last 10 games for this San Diego team. And look, that looked like a team that was missing something yesterday. They were missing a little emotion, a little spark. And you know what that was? Fernando Tatis Jr. being out. I'm worried about this team being without him. He's such an energy guy. The team loves him. He brings such adrenaline to the team in the clubhouse and the dugout. And now you don't have that element of in on your team now, day in, day out. I worry about that for San Diego. That was a listless, lethargic night for them last night against Colorado. They're not a team I'm rushing to lay a price with, especially Reese Neer. I mean, you look at his numbers since he's been there, not great. He's got an overall 8 ERA this season, 8.4. He made one start July 9th against Colorado. It wasn't particularly good. 4 walks, 2 runs, 3 hits, just 3.2 innings in that game for him. So when I look at this, it would be I could only look Rockies here at the plus price, first 5 in full game. I mean, it's hard to fathom Padres could lose 3 in a row at home to the Colorado Rockies, but I think it's more than possible. And the Gombers faced the Padres 3 times this season, twice in May, once in June. Do you know how many runs he's given up? 2 in 19.1 innings. 2 runs in 19.1 innings allowed by Austin Gomber against the San Diego Padres team. That's pretty damn good as a track record, getting a plus price like this. So for me, it would only be Rockies in this one. Conor Mac, what do you think? Rockies, Padres?
Yeah, if you were just thought a few weeks ago, the Rockies, going to sweep the Padres, you'd laugh. Them actually winning games on the road. Yeah, I'd laugh too. Man, Gomber's been so good. But with Nur, I want to take the over here a little bit as well. The Padres got to score runs to win, but they haven't hit Gomber. So this game is difficult for me here. I'd only be on the Rockies and Gomber. He's pitched well against them. The Padres' backs are against the wall. They need a win here today. So it's a game I'm going to stay off of. And Gomber's owned a lot of these Padres. The only guy who's hit him who just showed up is Frazier. He's 4 for 7 with a homer and a double. Not a lot of guys have hit him.
Yeah, it's true. And sometimes you worry now, 4th time for the Padres seeing Gomber, but those 3 starts were a long time ago. It wasn't recent. 2 in May, 1 in June, and we're talking August 1st now. So it's not like it's a short 1 week, 2 week turnaround here. So maybe that's good news for Gomber. We'll see. Sharpie, anything for you here? Colorado, San Diego.
Yeah, shout out to the chat. Can we get to 350, guys? Can we get to that? It's always 350 in this house, guys, because if it ain't 350, no need to see the titty. But Shoffley got Golden Golf, USA, baby, all day. Let's go.
Yeah, well done by him. Yep.
Let's go. Had to throw that out there.
Pan, the Chinese golfer, by the way, he came back to get me an each-way cash for finishing 3rd with the bronze medal, and I had him at 200 to 1. So
good
way
job,
to go, CT Pan, for getting an each-way
good
money
job.
for me.
Good call.
Yep.
All right, let's
It's
get
a huge
there,
one for 3rd.
And yesterday's game, Connor was on the Rockies, cashed that. It was a little scary, got there. The game before I was on the Rockies, cashed that. That wasn't scary one bit. This to me is just a straight stay off or a Rockies to me. I was thinking maybe play the Padres team total under first 5, but it's like I don't need to get sneaky right now, guys. There's a lot of spots on the board, and this to me is just a straight stay off. Both of these teams, Colorado and the Padres, are just not hitting, period, after the All-Star break. It says the Padres have the better pin, but if you look at these last 2 games, they don't. Their pin's been bad too. So it's a stay off for me. Padres should win. But like Ian said, without Tatis, this team's really different, guys. And I know he's hurt, and I don't wish nobody to get hurt. But I called this before the All-Star break, and I've been saying it loud. Padres won't make the playoffs. And I've been saying it before Tatis got hurt. This is a team that year after year, and they made it last year to the playoffs because it was a 60-game season. They're usually in first place come the All-Star break every damn year, guys. And I live in San Diego, so you hear this, whop, 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 whop. We're going to, and then they blow up. They just tank, guys. That's just what they do. They don't have a coach that can handle all that talent. Who the hell is their coach? I bet you 85% of the people out there can't tell me his name, okay? Because it's Gosman from the Texas Rangers, who was a bench coach. Exactly. He's a nobody, guys. They need like a Madden. They need somebody who can handle these guys and then understand.
Not a Jace Tingler guy, are you?
Yeah. The Padres are the type who play to their opponent's caliber. If they play the Dodgers, they play like it's the World Series, guys. If they play the Rockies, they show up like it's the Rockies. They don't know how to play consistent day in, day out baseball. And until they can show me that, dude, it's you got to pick your spots with this team. And I'm not picking them today. It's you can get some plus money fading them.
All right. Yeah, definitely. I'll keep that in mind. All right. Next up, we've got the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. Julio Urias for the Dodgers. Caleb Smith for the D-backs. Dodgers minus 240. Road favorites, 9.5 the total. Pass for me. Not even going to belabor the point on this game. Not laying the price with the Dodgers, but I'm not taking Arizona either. Caleb Smith, if you remember, his last start against the Dodgers was just dreadful. 9 runs, 1 inning, 22-1. He was on the wrong side of that game at Dodger Stadium. Caleb Smith. Now, I'm sure he remembers that. I'm sure he was embarrassed by it. 9 runs and 3 homers in 1 inning of work against the Dodgers. But I'm not going against Urias here. Julio Urias and his numbers against the Diamondbacks are pretty damn good. And he has pitched really well in 3 of his last 4 starts. Had a little bit of a rough patch against Colorado. But other than that, shut down Miami, shut down the Giants in 7 innings, shut down the Giants again when he faced them back-to-back in his last 2 starts. And he has owned Arizona. His lifetime ERA against Arizona, 1.75 for Julio Urias against the Diamondbacks. And 3-0 the Dodgers in Urias, 3 starts against them previously. He's given up 4 runs in 18.2 innings in his career against the Diamondbacks, and they've won all 3 games. And by the way, the scores of those 3 games, 11-2, 6-3, 9-1. So maybe you could go Dodgers run line here, or -1, -1.5. Makes some sense to me, but I'm probably going to stay off it. Just a lean Dodgers run line. Conor Mac, how about you here? Dodgers, Diamondbacks.
Yeah, the month of July for Caleb Smith, man, he just got rocked. The guy had a good June, and he had a good start against the Dodgers. June 18th, 6 innings, no earned runs. But yeah, his last 4 starts, 5 earned, 9, 2, 5 against the Cubs. His last start, it's difficult to back. In the first 2 games, I kind of lean it here. Urias has been good. The Dodgers at times, either they're going to probably rip him, Smith, or not hit him. It happened the first 2 games. First 5 under, stayed under 5, and then hit the over button right after that, and it went over. So I lean that way, the full game over, but maybe wait in game to get to it, the 9.5.
Yeah, definitely. Sharpie, anything here? Dodgers, Diamondbacks.
I just had flashbacks, man. I went back and was looking through Caleb Smith's game log, and I gave him out as a K prop that day, and that guy didn't get out the damn first inning. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my God. I just saw my money burn up in flames right now. I was like, oh, not again. Not again. Man.
He's had home run issues. He's had walk issues. He's had everything lately, Caleb Smith.
Yeah.
He's a spider tag guy. Like, straight up, he's a command type guy. And the numbers are just throwing me off, guys. It's like Arizona, since the All-Star break, are number 7 versus lefties. The Dodgers are 27th. Urias is a way better pitcher than Smith. Urias owns Arizona. What's going to come out? Urias or the Arizona that's hitting these lefties? Arizona has the better bullpen the last 2 weeks than the Dodgers. There's just so many stuff going on, and Urias is on a limit. How long is he going to go until they get to this bullpen who's been bad, guys? Like, I don't know. It's just a lot of going on there, and I'm going to stay off. I'll look into a couple K props on both sides. I know Smith, watching his games, he's had like 12 at-bats and 10 strikeouts. So anytime there's a pitcher going against Smith, I do like to look at the other pitcher just for that reason. That guy K's twice for me.
All right, so definitely when you look at it, there's definitely an edge here. No question about that for Urias going into this game. And I consider the Dodgers run line, but I'm probably going to stay off. If I were to bet it, that's probably the way I would go. Let's wrap it up now. Sunday night baseball, and they picked the right game for Sunday night baseball. These 2 teams are now in a dead heat, tied for first in the AL East, with the Rays winning the first 2 games of this series. Red Sox, Rays, battle for first, AL East. Tied in the standings now. Shane McClanahan, the lefty for the Rays. Nick Pivetta, my fellow Canadian, on the mound for the Red Sox. We've got Tampa Bay -160, -165 home favorites, 8.5 the total. Tons of money on Tampa. This opened -130 up to -160. There's going to get to a point now, guys, where I'm tempted by Boston here. Pivetta is better on the road. He's got a I believe it's a 3.2 ERA for him on the road. He's actually got very good numbers, Pivetta, away from Fenway. Fenway, he struggled. On the road, he's been better. And the Red Sox are 6-3 in his 9 road starts this season. So the more this line creeps up, the more I'm interested in Boston. Yesterday was frustrating, although when I look back on it, it could have been worse. I could have had the full game as my best bet with Boston instead of the first 5. At least the first 5, I got out of there with a push. It was 5-5 after the first 5 innings in that game yesterday. And then Boston lost it late. And we mentioned it. The Rays bullpen's good. Red Sox bullpen a little shaky lately. So I'm tempted by Boston first 5 here. We'll see if I pull the trigger, but maybe the over again, because both of these teams are hitting. We talked yesterday. They're crushing right-handed pitching the last little bit, this Rays team. The prospect, Wander Franco, is hitting well. Joey Wendell's hitting well. Arozarena's hitting well. Austin Meadows is hitting. I mean, this lineup's in good form right now. They are hitting .275, and they're averaging 7.8 runs per game in their last 10 games against right-handed pitching. Now, a lot of that was skewed by that Garrett Cole game and yesterday. I understand that, but there's no denying that they are hitting right now. They got their hitting shoes on right now, the Rays. The question is, can Pivetta keep his good road form going? I think the Red Sox can hit McClanahan a little bit. McClanahan's been okay at best. I don't think he's been terrific by any stretch of the imagination. He's given up at least 3 runs in 3 of his last 4 starts. He's a lefty. The Red Sox, they have not seen McClanahan before, so that could be an advantage for him. But the Red Sox against lefties of late, pretty good. .266 average, better on base percentage against lefties in their last 10 games than righties. So I think over is the way I would go. And I like the over in the first 2 games of this series. And I think I'll go back to that here. Don't know if I'll pull the trigger on Boston first 5. I really like the momentum and the confidence I'm seeing from Tampa Bay right now. Enough that I'm pumping the brakes a little on Boston first 5, but I'm definitely leaning Red Sox first 5. At this price now, plus 145, Pivetta on the road's got better numbers than he does at home. So over for sure, and I'm looking potentially at a smaller bet Boston first 5 innings at a good plus price as well. Conor Mac, what do you think here? AL East showdown for first Sunday Night Baseball.
Yeah, the Rays have looked really good. McClanahan, minus 160. Wow. Pavetta's pitched well on the road, but he has not pitched well lately. But his last 2 starts were against the Blue Jays, and the long ball is always his problem. It could be tonight. Yeah, it's a big price for the Red Sox. They need to win badly here. It could be like playoff type atmosphere. This one's tricky. I know the 8.5, both first 2 games went over. But that first 5 under 5 is interesting to me at minus 115. And I got to say it again. They haven't faced McClanahan. That's the big key here. They haven't seen him, but they hit lefties hard. I'm going to go right back. The team total, it's 3.5. It's minus 120, 125 for the Red Sox. They got to score runs today. I think they can get to him. So I like that team total over 3.5 with the Red Sox.
That might be a good look too. Yeah, Boston team total over 3.5, just because then you don't worry about Pivetta. You don't worry about what he does. Although here's a sneaky stat for you: 11.2 innings pitched by Pivetta this season.
He's very good.
The Tampa Bay Rays, no runs allowed. Shut him out this season in 11.2 innings. Yes, that is Nick Pivetta has done that to the Tampa Bay Rays. Not allowed a run against them in 11.2 innings this season. I think that's going to change a little bit tonight. Just my hunch with the way the Rays are hitting right now. Sharpie, what do you think here? Red Sox and Rays.
Man, I think we hit our live viewer mark. Now we need to hit that like mark. We're 1 away from 150, and our like mark's 161. I know we can get there today. So smash the like, guys. Let's do it. Let's do it. Last game of the night. Man, you scared me at that last second reading pivot or his numbers, man. I didn't know he was that good versus the Rays. I was like, wow. But I'm going to bet it the same way I've been betting it. And that's take these Rays, whether they're down or ahead, when they hit the bullpens. There's a clear advantage in the bullpens. The Rays bullpen is a 1.74 since the All-Star break. That's 15 games now, guys. That's a couple games. I saw Chris Larson. I needed to write that down. I saw your comment in the chat, and he talked about the Rays pin not being what it is. The Rays pin is the best in baseball, whether they got rid of their closer, whether someone goes to the IL or not. They breed pitching. They draft pitching better than any other team in baseball. They have pitching, guys. And
they've come back. They were rough early, but they've really turned around, especially the last month.
Early they did, yeah.
Right. Early. Well, yeah. But right now, dude, that's a team that I like to ride on when I get to their bullpens, guys. And it's been a money maker. I got the Rays at plus 140 on the money line down a run yesterday and ended up cashing pretty easy. So I'm going to look for that type of advantage. I lean the first 5 under hard now after you read those numbers off, because I already was liking McClanahan, and I was more worried about Pivetta. So I think that first 5 under is a sneaky one.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean,
we hit the live record in likes. You guys rock. You guys
the like
rock.
button. We appreciate it. But yeah, when it comes to the Rays and their bullpen, yes, there's people that early in the season they weren't very, very good, the bullpen, but that was just the first month or so. Once they got in the middle of May, they started to get better, and now they got a 1.5 ERA, that bullpen, the last 10 games, the Rays. So they're back to one of the best, if not the best bullpen in baseball right now. And you got to have confidence the Rays know what they're doing when it comes to pitching decisions, pitching personnel decisions on their team. Look no further than, wait a minute, you're trading away Diego Castillo, one of your premium relievers, to Seattle. And sure enough, what did we see from Castillo last night? Gives up the game. 2-run home run against the light-hitting Texas Rangers. I'm not saying he's going to be bad for Seattle, but when the Tampa Bay Rays are willing to part ways with a reliever of any kind, especially one that's been thought of as pretty good, usually there's some sense and some logic behind it. And I trust Tampa Bay that they know what they're doing in those situations. So that's why if I'm Seattle, let's keep our eye on Diego Castillo, because obviously the Tampa trades him there. We think of him as a good reliever. And in his first appearance with the Mariners, we see what happens. He gives up the game against a very bad Texas Rangers team. So keep an eye on him is definitely what I'm alluding to when it comes to Castillo. And I'm trusting Tampa Bay. They know what they're doing with their bullpen. Good stuff, Connor and Sharpie. Great analysis. And thanks to everyone in the chat. We hit our plateau, 300 live viewers today for the very first time on the MLB Closing Time Show. We appreciate it. We will get to our best bets and Jack of the Day in just a second. But first, sponsors time to hear from Manscaped and Southtown 101. When you're in San Antonio, Texas, stop in. Great food, drinks, live music, DJs, karaoke as well. Manscaped, promo code Pub Sports. You can take 20% off your purchase using that promo code. The Lawnmower 4.0, new and improved, and any other Manscaped product. Save those balls, get the job done. Use that promo code Pub Sports and get 20% off your purchase. And mybookie.ag, promo code Pub Sports. Football season right around the corner. NFL Hall of Fame game Thursday night. CFL season kicks off Thursday night. Reminder, Football Frenzy coming up this Thursday, making its season premiere as well with yours truly. CFL related on that show. Looking forward to it. Mybookie.ag, football right around the corner. Still baseball for another 2 months. No better time than right now to sign up for an account, mybookie.ag. Bitcoin accepted currency for your deposit as well. So check out mybookie.ag. Use the promo code PubSports. Before we get to Jack of the Day and Best Bets, a reminder, there's so many great shows. We're going to have our football schedule, I think, finalized and hammered out. We've got an idea where we're going with it, but we'll be announcing that this week. We've got, of course, Betting with the Bag Tuesdays through Fridays, 11 a.m. with Jimmy. We've got Gogsters, Mr. Gogsters Golf Show 3 days a week. We've got live MMA streams. You saw it with the crew last night during the Uriah Hall, Sean Strickland card. The Bellator, they do some live streams as well. Razor Sharp, mirror, with the horse racing streams as well, many times on the channel as well. So make sure you check out all the programming. It's wall-to-wall content right here on Pub Sports Radio throughout the week. And definitely we've got lots coming up when it comes to a football season. All right, let's turn our attention to how we're going to make some money with this Sunday card. It's time for Jack of the Day.
We'll see you later.
Jack of the Day time. Again, be careful here. Lots of lineup situations that you want to be aware of going into this game. Definitely George Springer, and I'm going to go Teoscar Hernandez as well for the Blue Jays against Brad Keller. I think both of them can get a homer. George Springer's just on fire right now. I've got to go with him for a Jack of the Day candidate in my mind. It's going to be a lighter day for me with the home run props. I think Mancini against Tyler Alexander could be worth a look as well in terms of home run props. As far as the Mets are concerned, Alonso, McNeil have both had home runs against Vlad Gutierrez, and I like the Mets a little bit in that game, so you could go in that direction as well for home run prop. We've got, let me see, Jorge Soler's got a home run against Brett Anderson, and he's been in good form lately as well with the home runs. So Jorge Soler for Atlanta as well could be something to look at. I'll stop there. I'm keeping it a little lighter today with the home run props, but those are some that I'll be sprinkling a few bucks on, a few shekels on. Conor Mac, what do you think, Jack of the Day?
Shout out to Kaiser.
Shout out
for
to
the
my
dono. Go ahead.
Yes.
Jay Kaiser, just shout out, brother. Thanks for the dono, brother. Appreciate it. He's my guy. Smart guy, knows his shit. Hit him up on Twitter.
Yes.
My guy Jake Kaiser. Jake from State Farm. My Jack's here real quick. I like Hernandez too. He's around 3-1. I'm gonna go with O'Hearn, 6 for 14, 2 homers. He's around plus 400. Freddie Freeman, plus 390, 4 for 5 with a jack. And our guy Turner from the Dodgers again. He's around plus 330 or so. And there's one other guy in that game I kind of want to look at, Carson Kelly. He's 3 for 6 with a homer. He's plus 550. Maybe a sneaky Jack of the Day. Big plus money.
All right, good stuff there. All right, Sharpie, any Jack of the Day candidates? And also give us your best bet.
Yeah, let's get there. Jack of the Day from Cupcake Man himself, Maxwell Smart. Anthony Rizzo, guys. That guy is hot, and now he's batting top of the lineup. That's even one extra at bat. We'll take that, guys. Until he cools off, we're on that guy. Best bet. It's only offered at a few books right now because they know, I guess, he's going to smash it. But we're going Jordan Montgomery over 6.5 strikeouts at plus 110. We're going up against the Miami Marlins, guys. They're striking out 30% of the time, strikeout rate. Okay, they're only walking 7%, so they're below average walking. They're top of the league in strikeouts versus lefties. They don't have a track record versus Montgomery, and Montgomery gets a pitcher spot at least 2 times. If he goes 5, he should have 7, 8. He should easily have 7. So I'm on Montgomery myself. So let's get it.
All right, there you go. Jordan Montgomery over 6.5 strikeouts. A best bet for Sharpie for this Sunday. Conor Mac, best bet.
I like that look, man. The Marlins just swing and miss a ton right now. So I like it. Man, I kind of have 2. I'll give you one for the morning. It's plus money now. I'm taking the over here. Royals, Blue Jays, it's plus 105, the over 9. And I'm going to take a little stab at that Royals at plus 230 too. But I'm going to the late night. I stayed off it yesterday. I lost with it the other day. There's big plus money on them, but I think they get 4 runs. I'm on the Boston team total over 3.5.
Hey,
there you go, Boston team.
Go check out Razor's Gambler's First Glance after this show, guys. He just put it out. It's a 2-minute video. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. Check those out. He's doing the daily MLB recommendations. So check that out on the Pub Sports Radio channel. All right, Boston team total over 3.5, and also like in Royals Jays full game over best bets, if you will, for Conor Mac today. Mine, I'll give you 2. I'll give you Seattle as the side again, just like yesterday. I mean, even with Gonzalez. I'm going to go with them here. Minus 140, minus 142 is the best price out there right now with Seattle. That's one. The other best bet is going to be Cubs Nationals over 8.5. It's actually moved off 8. It's pretty much 8.5 across the board. So there's a lot of people liking the over like I do in that game with Alzolay and Fetty. I think you'll see runs scored in that game. Even with the
There
Cubs
you are.
lineup, obviously, they've lost a lot of pieces and parts after the deadline, but they can hit Fedde. He's not been good, and Alzolay struggled lately as well, and 2 bullpens that they can give it up as well. Cubs, Nats, over 8.5. That's the other best bet. So let's have a good Sunday, everybody. That'll wrap up this edition of the Pub Sports Radio MLB Closing Time Show. Can't thank you enough. 315 live viewers. Hit the like button one more time on your way out. We will be back, Connor and I, with Ski Profit on Monday, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, for another edition of the MLB Closing Time Show, breaking down the Monday MLB card. For Conor Mac, for our weekend warrior, special guest Sharpe, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Sunday. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we will talk to you again tomorrow on Monday for another edition of the Pub Sports Radio MLB Closing Time Show right here on Pub Sports Radio.